Hedera Hashgraph HBAR, is it still heading to that $2.05 mark like we've predicted? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, around 6 months ago, we gave a 6-month outlook for where we thought the price of Hedera could get to. And since we gave that price prediction, we did see a 170% rally. However, all of those gains have been erased with the recent price movement. And the question that you have to then ask is, where is Hedera currently at and where is it now potentially going? And has our original price prediction or our roadmap, our technical roadmap towards that $2.05 mark now been invalidated? We're going to be asking and answering some of these questions in this video. We're going to be updating you on our Hedera Hashgraph price prediction. We're going to be looking at a number of things in this video. So we're going to be talking about the altcoin market, the others market cap, which is everything outside the top 10 and where we're predicting that to go. And to think that Hedera isn't going to be a part of that, in my opinion, is naive. In fact, I think Hedera is going to be a big part of that. I wouldn't be surprised if Hedera does end up a top 10 cryptocurrency because it is just that impressive. I don't remember the last time I was excited as I am, or I was as excited as I am in regards to a layer 1 blockchain, a layer 1 distributed ledger. We know that Hedera is a DAG, as I am Hedera. They're doing everything. And not only that, they're doing that at a scale that is far superior to many of the other layer 1 competitors out there. It is a very, very impressive distributed ledger. And ultimately, I think it's going to do very well. And we are seeing more institutional adoption for Hedera than many other chains out there. It is consistent in regards to having the highest TPS in regards to the entire blockchain space or crypto space. It's recently seen huge development activity. You know, if you look at actual institutions that are tokenizing on Hedera, it's massive. I mean, just talk about institutional adoption from a governing council point of view. It literally has the largest companies in the world essentially maintaining the network, operating the distributed ledger. So this isn't going to be fundamental. This is going to be purely technical. The best place for me to start, though, ladies and gentlemen, is with our price prediction that we gave. So we are going to go ahead. We're going to leave the injective chart and the HBAR chart for now. We're going to go ahead and look at the price prediction that we gave 6 months ago. So 6 months ago, we identified that there was accumulation taking place for Hedera along with a lot of the cryptocurrency market. You know, in that 6 month time, we've had many altcoins that have done spectacularly. Hedera did at one point, but it's given a lot of that back with the recent price movement. But a bit of a spoiler alert, I do still think it's on that trajectory towards $26 or 26 cents, sorry, not $26. Don't quote me on that. And then potentially that $2.05 mark. And before I go on with this video, it's absolutely important because there's always some ding-dong that doesn't want to take accountability for their own actions for me to say that I'm not a financial advisor and nothing I say or do on this channel is financial advice. 6 months ago, what we were looking at was a break of a neckline of a double bottom that was essentially going to see Hedera potentially then go on a journey towards 26 cents. Once it got there, we were going to look for an inverse head and shoulders to form that could give us a projected target of $2.05. Now, this inverse head and shoulders pattern is one that we have had magnificent success with. Those of you that watch my daily market updates will know just how successful we've been on this, including the double bottom pattern. We're a traditional technical analyst. And ultimately, this is the roadmap that we were looking to take place for Hedera. And let's take a look at kind of how that played out. So a spoiler alert, we didn't get to 26 cents within the 6 month time frame. However, I still very much do believe that's on the cards. A bottom target that we looked at, I do think will still come. It's a very logical place for Hedera to rest and actually set up broader continuation. So since we looked at our price prediction, we looked at a bit of a falling wedge here. And we can zoom in on the smaller time frames to get a sort of better look at this. We did have a falling wedge here, beautiful 3 impulses, volatility really diminishing here, and then we had a breakout. So we were looking at Hedera round about here, and it did actually go on. Obviously, this was on the BlackRock kind of pump and dump news, and get all the way to the sort of $18 mark, all the way down from sort of the 7 cents mark or 18 cents mark. It did rally quite nicely from there, but it then failed to hold on to this key level, which actually did form a bit of an inverse head and shoulders. We'll give you a target for that so you can essentially see it play out. Very heavy technical update today, guys. You can see the target for this did take you down here, and that was met. And then from that on, I believe it was the BlackRock news, you did get a sort of pump out of this, reclaim this level, failed to hold it, and you can see since then with the kind of broader tide of the markets, you know, it's really came off. So we didn't quite get to that 26 cents range. However, the double bottom target that gave us, or the double bottom pattern that gave us that 26 cents range, we do still believe is very much in play. And to sort of invalidate that, you'd need to run the low of the right butt cheek. I do still think this is coming. You know, I think the cryptocurrency space is in a broader uptrend. And I think we're just experiencing volatility, which is inherent with the cryptocurrency market. You know, Injective was a very good example of a double bottom pattern. Typically, once you break, you do get a retest, like we were predicting in our original price prediction. This retest was very quickly bought up, just like I thought Hedera's was going to be. However, the broader sort of tide of the markets has sort of made it a more sort of prolonged pullback, if you will. And we've certainly seen that play out. There's lots of Ellioticians out here that are just calling this the 1, 2, into the 3, and then obviously 4 and 5 wave. But we're not really an Elliotician, or we're not an Elliotician, I should say. So this is where Hedera is currently at. The pullback after the break, which was all on volume, very compliant with what you want to see on a pullback, has been a little bit more prolonged, but I do think it will pick its feet up with the broader markets, just like we were looking at for, this is Iris Energy, for example. You know, we had a technical target here that it's broken out of recently. They're a Bitcoin company. We look at, or an energy company related to Bitcoin. We look at lots of Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin stocks and crypto stocks. You know, like Coinbase is one that we did spectacularly on. We were calling this in the sort of 40 cents range. I think it's going to move above 300 and sort of 25 cents in the recent future. But we don't particularly want to get into all the sort of stocks that we look at. So you can see you had a break on Iris Energy, and then you had this kind of volatile period, kind of like what Hedera is going through at the moment. But I do think it is going to result in this. And I think a very obvious kind of magnet, if you will, is going to be this 27 cents range that hopefully you sort of pull back at and form this inverse head and shoulders that could take to that $2.05 range. This is what we're essentially looking at. We're looking at a similar thing for Tesla at the moment, a doubling in Tesla's price. This has gone up since we sort of originally called it. But you can see, you know, you've got this kind of double bottom pattern here, and you're sort of waiting to break it. So this double bottom pattern is a very reliable one. If you look at the price prediction that we gave, it was that, and it was always, there was the potential for Hedera to get to that 26, 27 cents range within 6 months, dependent on the broader context of the market. The broader context of the market simply hasn't allowed it. Bitcoin is still that tide that rises and sinks or ship. But the technical roadmap that we had is still very much intact. In fact, we have a hell of a long time for this double bottom pattern to play out. When you're looking at time frames for targets, you can essentially use how long the pattern took to form and give it that as a time frame and a kind of timeout period, if you will. So still very much expecting 26, 27 cents for Hedera, and then potentially broader continuation to the $2.07 range. Of course, the cryptocurrency market generally needs to be doing well for this to take place. This is a total cryptocurrency market excluding Bitcoin. Now, the altcoin market, essentially, we're predicting a $3.8 trillion market to come from this, within this bull run. So everything excluding Bitcoin, we're expecting to get to $3.8 trillion. If we look at others market cap, which tracks everything outside of the top 10, it's predicting a move from the $200 billion range to nearly $2 trillion. Now, within, and I did a longer video on this and the more macro stuff for my Patreon, do get on board with that, you'll unlock my portfolio. So this is predicting a 3.8, others is predicting 2 trillion. So if you take everything outside of the top 10 away from total 2, which already excludes Bitcoin, that means the top 10 is likely going to be worth $1.8 trillion. And Hedera, if it remains outside of the top 10, I think is going to do rather spectacularly under this context. So even if everything just rose equally, that would be a 7.2x for Hedera. But I actually think Hedera is really going to shine. I think all the institutional adoption that we see for it is really going to excel it. So we have a bullish context on the broader space. Looking at the altcoin market, we could really go above and beyond this. But for the sake of time, we're not going to. We'll just skim past it and look at the kind of exchange-traded products that we look at, like Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, Bitwise's Top 10 Crypto Index Fund, all playing out in the manner that we expect it to, and of course, 21 Shares Crypto Basket. Of course, Hedera is outside the top 10, so looking at others, we're predicting a really good run for that. I think it's going to go above and beyond. Obviously, that aligns with where we're looking at everything except for Bitcoin Total 2 going. And it kind of gives coincides with the kind of technical roadmap we think Hedera is going to follow. There's no way, ladies and gentlemen, that Hedera isn't going to appreciate in this bull market. My own personal take. Also, when we look at Bitcoin dominance, we are expecting Bitcoin dominance to roll. It's at this kind of critical point in a kind of descending triangle. The flip side to this is we're expecting ETH BTC, which is in the kind of opposite pattern of this, to do rather well. And I actually think that Bitcoin is going to lose dominance significantly, and over the coming years, potentially could see around about 20% dominance, which is a significant fall from where it's currently in. So the altcoin market is really going to come into its own as this space matures. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but we do think Bitcoin dominance is likely to roll, and we're on the kind of cusp of that. You can derive that from a number of things. Some of them we've just looked at. You can also derive that from Sol BTC, which is probably the best looking BTC chart that there is, period. Talking about dividing altcoins by BTC, this is where Hedera currently sits in relation to Bitcoin. It's at an area where you frequently found support. This is right at support. This is a brilliant area historically for support to come in. So with Bitcoin dominance looking weak, you could see a run, and we've got to see it first, guys, but there's a good likelihood that this support is going to act exactly as that in regards to HBAR BTC. Also, you're at an area where HBAR has done quite well against Sol previously. And if you look at HBAR ETH, it's very much just in a range, and again, at an area in which you found support historically. So when you kind of add all that together, what we have is the timeframes for getting to that $26, 26 cents for Hedera not being met. You know, we said it could get to 26 cents within the kind of 6-month time frame. Certainly we thought that would be the case. It hasn't got there just yet. Has it invalidated that pattern that took us to 26 cents? No. That pattern is still in play. Once we get there, how it interacts could potentially set us up for that $2.05 mark. We are bullish on the broader market and certainly the altcoin market. Some of the few people that do analysis on this and go in depth technically as we do. And of course, when we look at when we look at Hedera against Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, they're all at a level of support, and that could very much come into play. So I do believe now is not the time to give up on Hedera, ladies and gentlemen. We will be doing a lot more fundamental updates, as we always do. But as we did give our price prediction around 6 months ago now, we wanted to update people, kind of keep people informed in regards to where we currently are. Some of the questions that people have after that price prediction was given. We didn't get there within the 6 months. It's not the end of the world. Such is life. Things don't always play out in the way that you want them to. You reassess and you go with what's more probable. And we're still very much in the what's more probable is Hedera is going to do well over the coming months ahead of us. So that is it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this content just as much as I enjoyed presenting it. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Hang in there, H-Barbarians, and I'll see you all in the next one.